And we are live. Hey everybody. I'm back here with my friend Bernadette. I've known her since at least 2012. And as a lot of you know, I'm a lawyer, so part of the deal of being a lawyer is you got to rank real well on the internet and stuff, and your local business needs to rank. And so Bernadette's the person who helps us get our local citations, so people that you know who may have a bar or restaurant, any kind of business, if they want to rank in Google or anywhere else, pretty much they need to build citations. And Bernadette's the person who can help you do that. And she even knows about automated systems. And I'm going to go ahead and have her introduce herself and tell you about her company really quick, just so you know who she is. Go ahead, Bernadette.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, as you said, I'm Bernadette Coleman. I'm the CEO of a company called Advice Local. So we started off as a digital agency back in 2010. And while we were building websites and doing everything that a digital agency does, we started building our own technology to help our clients rank higher in search. And basically what that technology does is it goes out across the web and looks at a small business's footprint, its digital footprint. What does its name, address, phone number, web URL, description, hour of operations, what does that look like on different sites across the web? And then we pull that data in and we analyze that data. And then if we see that there's misconceptions or inaccurate data, there's something wrong with that data, our system automatically fixes it. So we started a shift around 2014 because we saw data is so bad out there on the internet, and so many businesses, especially as we moved into a mobile first world, were having problems with their data, with bad addresses out there and inaccurate phone numbers and that. So we shifted Advice Local now into a technology company, a full SaaS-based technology company. And basically what we do is we take care of your digital assets. We may give you one place to go to add all your information, and then we syndicate that data across the web and make sure that your data is clean and out there when someone is searching for your service or your product. And that's what Advice Local does.
Right. And so one of the tasks of Advice Local is to make the data about your name, address, and phone number uniform, because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this is still the case, but back when we were doing this a while ago, NAP data, name, address, phone number data that was bad or inaccurate would sort of count against you as a strike from Google and lower the chances of you showing up in that 3-pack.
Yes.
Your local business. Is that still the case?
No, not as much as it was a few years ago. Google's getting smarter. They know where you're at. But, the person searching for your business or service, that's where it becomes a problem. I mean, just this week, we have a client that's a large national bank across the United States. And someone forgot to change their hours of operations. And the person who went to the bank to make a deposit went after 6 o'clock because website and their GBP and all their local listings at 6:30. Well, they got a scathing negative review on the Better Business Bureau, right? So listings may not be as important to Google. I mean, if it says ST instead of street, or it says DR instead of drive, or there's a suite number that's missing, it's not as important as it was years ago, only because Google's just gotten so smarter about our locations and where we're at. But from a user standpoint, it's still important to have accurate data out there. And then let's not forget that those inbound links from some of the higher profile citation sites like Google, Bing, Yelp, Apple, those citations are good citations that Google trusts. So if it sees your name, address, and phone number is accurate across these tier 1 citations and across the second tier citations, like your Chamber of Commerce online, your Brown Book, your Duties Book, all these sites, Google has a little bit more confidence that you are who you say you are and where you say you are. So yes, it may not be quite as important as it was 10 years ago, but it's still very important to have accurate data out there too.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine getting a negative review with Better Business Bureau because there was some problem with a third-party site you had no control over?
No control over. Yeah.
That's just
But,
wild.
well,
So
they did have control over it, keeping your information accurate and up to date. You know,
I mean, while
that's
you're
what
trying to
it
work on cases and deal with client calls,
is.
now you got to
Right.
go online and find
Mhm.
all the bad data that gets messed up.
And that's why we make it easy. You only have to put it in one place. And
Yeah.
then we make sure that that data is syndicated out across the web for you. And
Yeah.
as an attorney, it's also even I think it's we have a lot of attorneys that are clients, and one of the problems with a lot of the attorneys that we run into is you'll find a building where there's like 5 or 6 different law firms. Well, if you're not keeping your data accurate and up to date, you can easily get filtered out by Google, and then you're not going to show in the map pack at all. So.
Yeah, they think you're hot boxing, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's hot boxing, but a lot
Or
it just
hot
looks like all
desking.
these attorneys get merged together if there's a lot of
Hot.
attorneys in one.
I think they call it hot desking. Hot desking.
Yeah.
Hot desking. But I know. Okay, so what Bernadette's talking about is, and this was a real big problem back in like
Mhm.
2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Google would do a data merge if there were a bunch of lawyers at the
Yeah.
same address, but there might have been in different suites. And Google would just take all their data and put it all together.
Yeah, it was a
So
mess.
like, yeah, so like my phone number was showing up on some other dude's name, and it was just a total nightmare. And
Yeah.
of course, we all dropped in ranking. That was that was the number one thing.
That's what kept me in business, you know. That
That's
kind of
right.
stuff, bad data keeps me in business today.
Yeah. I remember spending whole months going through all my data and trying to
Yeah.
fix it and making spreadsheets and doing
Yeah, oh, yeah.
link disavows and all that. Man, what a nightmare
Mhm.
time that was.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do that today, but you still find that there's a lot of bad data out there. And attorneys change law firms, you know, they move. The other thing is that a lot of attorneys have initials behind their name. And so not only can they have their own citations for their law firm, but they can have their own personal citations too, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes attorneys forget that there's a lot more opportunity to be visible if you just take a little bit more time and not only create the citations around your law firm, but about your practice, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I remember my personal name got merged with my business once, and that was a nightmare. They were given my personal office line number is the main line number for the law firm. That was a problem. So that's the kind of thing that you can help fix, but without us having to go through and
Yeah. We absolutely can. And so there's many different forms of citations too. It doesn't just have to be a link with the name and address and phone number. A citation can be just a link back to your website on another site. It could be a mention of your business on another site. But the NAP, which stands for name, address, and phone number, the more accurate they are across the web, the better. So that's where you see sites like Yellow Pages, Dex, Chamber of Commerce Online, Brown Book, City Search. All these directories come in play. And many of them don't get a lot of traffic, but many of them are high domain ranking sites. So you want that link back also. Having that link back come to the site can help you rank higher in search. So that's very important.
Bernadette, there was for a time and a big debate over whether or not just even a mention without a backlink, like a name mention or a brand mention, was helpful directly or indirectly. And everybody said no, but I've always felt that it must be helpful because it's used by the AI and the generative AI tools and everything to try to identify things about you, right? So why wouldn't Google do the same?
Yeah, and look, especially if you're serving a specific location, it's always great to be able to have those citations and those mentions come from local businesses that are going to be able to show that you are where you say you are. Like, for example, if I'm an attorney in Los Angeles, right, it may help me to have other businesses in Los Angeles link back or mention my my services or the work I've done for them, and that allows Google to really cement the fact that I am a Los Angeles attorney. So if someone's doing that type of a search, those citations, especially those local niche citations, are going to help me rank higher in search.
Yeah, and I think that also, correct me if I'm wrong. So if I have a bunch of local lawyers who are in LA and they have the schema that shows they're LA lawyers. They can prove it. They're in the map. It seems to me that a link from one of those guys would be much more helpful than a link from a lawyer, say, in Massachusetts,
Yes.
as far as the local ranking signal would go. Right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer. Yeah.
And also making sure that if you do have citations on your top tier profiles, making sure that you fill out those profiles completely is very important, right? It also helps with your rankings if you're more visible. So Google My Business profile is a prime example. Making sure that everything is filled out, your services are filled out, your name, address, and phone number is accurate. Making sure that you have your hours of operation there. There's a lot of the local map app is based on algorithms, and just having your hours accurate can make a big difference. Just lately they've made your hours of operation on your Google Business profile a ranking signal for ranking the maps, right? So all of a sudden now we're seeing all these attorneys and businesses say that they're open 24 hours because if they say they close at 6, all of a sudden they drop off maps, and the next attorney who is open to 8 is showing, right?
But that's a problem, Bernadette, because part of Google's guidelines are that if you say 24 hours, that means you have to be manned 24 hours. And none of these businesses are manned 24 hours. These are lawyers. It's a violation of the State Bar Ethics Guidelines, I would think.
Well, if they have that is correct, but they are saying 24 hours. And if you do see some of your competitors that do have some misleading information on them, you can easily report them. A lot of people do.
It's just become like this big Soviet style block captain thing. I just don't.
They got 3 spots, sometimes 2 now. So you want to be that attorney that shows up in that top spot. And let's face it, the ones that do. They're getting a lot of the traffic, and those Google My Business profile phone calls and clicks, they're higher closing than, not just for attorneys, but for many small businesses, right? That's what you want. It's easy, it's quick. Google, is giving them everything they need right there on the search engine results page. They don't even need to go to your website.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Hey, let's just take a look over at the sidebar. We've got 12 people in here. So let me see here. Hey, buenas tardes. All right. Hey, what's going on? Let's OTVO. I hope you guys, this isn't really a show about cop watching. This is a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, who has a really cool business where she helps people who are struggling with their businesses online because for whatever reason, their data is all screwed up, and she helps them fix it. And she's been doing it for years. So I trust her. So I always like to introduce her to people that I know, because you might have a friend or a family member who has a liquor store, who has a restaurant, whatever it might be. She can help you. And then let's see here. Hey, what's going on, Shock Prof? Good Citizen. I love it. Good Citizen. How you doing? Hey, Chevy. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. If you guys have any questions about local businesses or local citations, put it in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to press the subscribe button. Make sure you get me in your stream so you can see my other cool updates. So let's see here. So Good Citizen says that you're super knowledgeable. Good Citizen, do you have any questions about citation building or NAP data building, or do you have any friends or family members who have a business or a website? Especially in Texas, because she also, I think, has a newspaper in Texas. If anybody wants to get some classified ads or whatever, she'll hook you up with that. Anybody at all, just ask the questions in the sidebar there.
Do I get to see the sidebar? I don't see it.
What you want to do, that's a good question. So typically to your right, you're going to see comments and hidden comments. And you want to click out of hidden comments to like live comments.
Oh, I see. There you go.
And then if you go live, you'll see people in the sidebar and what they're saying. And hey, we got 13 people in there now. So if you look up, you can see the people that you're talking to. But I think that's pretty cool because most of the people who normally come in here, Bernadette,
Mhm.
are friends of my buddy Chili, and they're just supporting him.
Ah,
And
okay.
I'm trying to give him updates about the court case and what the law is and how I think
Mhm.
what I think is going on with the trial and the appeal. And I honestly wasn't expecting anyone to show up, so I'm kind of happy they did. But everybody, this is my friend Bernadette, and she has a cool business where she helps people make their businesses go in that 3-pack. You know, when you go on Google and you'll see like
Mhm.
3 businesses right there at the top. She's the one who helps you get your
Hi,
businesses.
Chevy. This is
She's the
really
one.
cool.
Yeah, it is. So and Bernadette, so we're using StreamYard, and actually my buddy Chili turned me on to this. It's
Mhm.
I bought the big one, but I think there's a free one too. And what I
Mhm.
like about it is it lets us go it lets us show like what's on the screen.
Yep.
It lets us like, hey,
Cool.
what's going on? Hey, check me out. And then we can do closer ones like this, like all these different cool. I kind of like this one best because it lets everybody see us.
Mhm.
But it's really cool, and it allows us to see who's on the sidebar. And like right now it says that there's 16 people in there. Hey everybody, 16 people. I think that's a record for a non-chili hangout. And I want to thank Let's OTVO and Chevy and my regulars for showing up and showing Bernadette some support, and get the word out too, because if you have friends or
Mhm.
family members who have a local business and they're struggling online, it's not just Google that she can help you rank in. There's also Bing, Yahoo that has that,
Oh, yeah.
you
But
know.
just on the internet itself, look, it's
Yeah,
very difficult for small businesses to rank high in search.
yeah,
Look, they're busy running their own businesses. You're busy running your practice. You're busy, you know, um, being a plumber or HVAC repair person or selling tires out of your store or cooking in your restaurant. And Google, I'll tell you, it is very difficult to compete online today unless you know what you're doing. And that one of the easiest things that you can do in order to rank your small business higher in the local search results is just make sure that your data is accurate across the web. And look, this is your asset. It's People forget that the name, their address, their phone number, all this data, all these mentions of a small business on the internet, that's an asset to that small business, right? So
absolutely.
you don't want that asset to be misconstrued. And look, I deal with this every day. I have small businesses where competitors will come in and try to change their address or change their phone number to their phone number, right? And steal business from another location.
Totally, totally. It's happened to me. Like you'll have people who log in on the Maps Guide program,
Yep.
try to change all your
Trying
crap,
to
and
public edit.
they'll get
Mhm.
you. Hey,
Yeah.
really
So
quick.
we have something what we call the legal shield for Google My Business, because if you're on my system and someone tries to change your phone number, my system will automatically revert it back to where it's supposed to be. So it's a
So
really powerful tool for small businesses to use.
and so good citizen here. She's got a comment. I put it up on the
Mhm.
screen.
Sure.
You ever helped anybody with a Pilates studio before?
I do. As a matter of fact, my cousin's wife has a Pilates studio, and I'm happy to report they're number one in Pittsburgh. If you
Oh,
search
that's
for
cool.
Pilates studio, in their neighborhood. But absolutely, the one thing about the Pilates studio, it is a location-based business. People come to you, you don't go to them,
Yeah,
right? So you want to make sure that you have your hours of operation. And not only that, what's cool about having a Pilates studio is you can actually put up your services kind of like a menu, so
yeah.
to speak, and share those classes online in a lot of these profiles. And we can syndicate that data out. So, which just helps people understand not just where you are, but when are your classes? What are your hours of operations? So, yes, I do know, and gyms, Pilates studios and gyms. A lot of them are our clients, and that's because we want to make sure that not only do people know where they're located, but again, kickboxing classes, what hours are they having stretch classes and all that. And those can be syndicated out through what's called a menu on the site.
So, as an aside, one of the things that I've been trying to teach a lot of my viewers who are First Amendment advocates, Second Amendment rights advocates, is that, we know that the great Leviathan, the great administrative state, they like their big corporations, and it's really hard to compete with that. And we see now how Google and all these other websites have basically pushed all the organic results down, and you got to pay a lot of money to be able to advertise. But if we build systems together, like what I'm doing with Bernadette, where a warm market type system. For example, we have your friend or your sister come on who has the Pilates studio. We talk about her studio and we help promote each other. We can build our own systems and we can promote our friends and brothers and sisters without having to rely so much on the great Leviathan in the Blackwater, BlackRock, whatever you want to call it, the BlackRock corporate system. So that's just my 2 cents, guys. I think that we should be doing that all the time. And I appreciate everybody. Now we got 15 people in the room to come and support Bernadette, and then allow Bernadette to come back and support you as a guest and build an audience. And again, Bernadette has her own newspaper in Texas too. So I think, y'all could work together. And if we all think of it that way, if everybody thinks the way I'm thinking, then we don't need to spend millions of dollars on advertising, because we know, hey, we got Bernadette. She can help with that. Hey, Mike Eline can help with that. This car guy can help with that. And that's what I was trying to get to. It's kind of an aside.
And that's where we were talking about citations, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's also something called co-citations. And a lot of small businesses in our neighborhood here in McKinney, we link to each other, right? So a restaurant in McKinney may also link to the local pet store down the street, and vice versa. And that's helping each other get inbound links from local businesses, which helps Google understand that business is a local business in that area. And then again, in return, helps them rank higher in search. So don't be afraid to link to one of your neighbors.
They're asking for your link. Is that right? It's advicelocal.com, right?
Yes, advicelocal.com.
Keep talking, Bernadette. Preach.
Yeah. So don't be afraid, especially, if you're in a neighborhood and your reach, like we have local dentists that may link to the candy store down the street. So, and we're a big proponent of that. And in our meetings, we have a lot of local meetings here in the DFW SCM area, or DFW area, where we talk to each other about having these co-citations and helping to promote each other. Look, it's very costly to pay Google paid search fees, and the local search ads. I have clients that are paying $120, $130 a click, and that's not even to get a client, just to get a phone call.
It's garbage.
Out of this world, and the competition is bad, and a lot of these leads that come in are at times where an SMB can't even answer the phone because they're busy doing their job, but they're getting charged for those links anyway, right? So work together and help promote each other. It's the easiest way to get some what we call local SEO juice. Yeah,
and you look at other systems that overthrew and changed societies. I mean, you look at the Amish. They joined together and developed their own systems. There's no reason why people like us in online communities can't develop similar systems, similarly minded people who care about their country, who care about their families, who don't want to be inside that big Leviathan. We want our freedom. This is a great medium for us, and it doesn't always have to be YouTube. But the idea is that, keep in mind that we should form systems together where we mutually support each other, and that cuts out the middleman, everybody, and it lets us develop relationships based upon how we feel about each other, and that we like and trust each other, not because of some brand name. We develop our brand name from getting to know each other. So Bernadette, I know you went into the citations and cleaning up data and whatnot. So let's say I have this yoga studio, and let's say I took it over from another yogi and they had a different name, but it's the same address. So what do I do now?
That can be a challenge, especially if the previous owner had bad reviews, right? That becomes a challenge. So there you have to really weigh the facts. So, and I've just came across this the other day. We had a moving company who had like 1.3 Google reviews of rating. It was really, really bad. But a new owner came in, and Google, and they wanted to change the name, and they wanted to go ahead and remove and start over and start fresh without all the negative reviews. So in that case, it becomes a challenge because typically you either have to do a complete re-verification and start fresh, close down the one business and start fresh. Or then on the other hand, if they have good reviews, then you may want to just do a name change, right? So and then let those reviews float with you. So you really got to weigh what's best.
But now you're presuming that the new business has all the logins, right, to the other.
Oh, that's another issue we run into all the time. And again, I always tell my SMB clients, this is an asset. You should own your Google My Business profile. Time and time again, all I hear is a business will come to us and say, I don't have my logins. The agency that set it up for me won't give them to me.
Wow.
And that happens daily, multiple times a day. An agency should not own your Google My Business profile. You should own your Google My Business profile. You should own your citations. You should set it up if you can, or you have them set it up and make sure that you are the primary owner. Now, there can be multiple owners on the account, people that help you market it, but you should always remain the primary owner and give other people access to your Google My Business profile. Now,
well, Bernadette, hold on a minute. What about this whole Yext thing? So I hear that Yext, they control and own it pretty much. Even when they you stop paying them, you can't get in there to fix anything now, right?
Well, you have to go in and claim that listing one by one is what you have to do, because and that's what happens. So what basically how Yext works, it's a paid ad. It's called paid insertion, and basically what they're doing is they're just inserting an ad on that directory. So if you decide not to pay Yext any longer for whatever reason, those profiles that were created, typically all the data, all the additional data other than the name, address, and phone number just goes away. So what you'll have to do is go in and find that listing and then go claim that listing one by one.
Oh my gosh. So that could, I mean, that could be like hundreds.
That's the only way you're going to be able to change that data is if you own that listing. And yeah, it can be a big challenge. And that's where a service like ours will come in, because we can go out, look at the data. We have what's called read access to all the directories. Mm-hmm. And then we can look at all the directories. We can find your data in that directory. And as long as it is unlocked by Yext, we can access that directory and we can fix it for you.
Yeah, I went through that once where I had to get them to unlock it, and it was a nightmare. I mean, why would anybody want to do business with a company like that, Bernadette? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, it is, that's your business model. That's your business model. Who's to say it's right or wrong, right? But for an SMB, it's important that you own the asset, right? So for what it's worth, make sure that when you're claiming your business, that you have access to your Google, your if you have a Yelp profile, you should own that. If you have a Bing profile, the business owner should make sure that that is a business asset. And if look, a lot of times we see an employee will set it up for the owner of the business, and the employee gets fired, or the employee moves on to another career or whatever. It becomes a challenge getting access to that. It can be done, right? And we know how to do it. So if anyone out there is having a challenge getting access to their own Google My Business profile, they can reach out to us. We can help them get access to it. But it can be a challenge for a small business owner that doesn't know how to navigate Google's little intricacies.
Yeah, real quick, everybody, put a bunch of ones in the comments there if you want Bernadette to come back on, and then also in the description comments, put what you'd like her to talk about. If you have a friend or a family member with a local business who's struggling, trying to get their business in the map, maybe you have a competitive industry like locksmith or something, and they're just getting hammered. Maybe she can try to help you out, that kind of a thing. Put a bunch of ones in the comments if you want her to come back on.
Mhm.
Look
And
at that. Look at all the ones. We already got a bunch of ones.
River Oaks Pilates. If you can just send me just shoot me an email. I'll do some research on your Pilates studio, and I'll offer you a free listing, and we'll get your data cleaned up, and I won't charge you.
Oh, I think that's really sweet of you. That's really nice.
No problem. We'll get that taken care of. So just reach out to me. Can I give my email address?
Oh, of course. Yeah, here, I'll type it in right now for you, or somebody. Go ahead.
bcoleman@advicelocal.com.
So BCOLEMAN
at advicelocal.com.
Advicelocal.com. BCOLEMAN at advicelocal.com. Boom. And there it goes. It's going in the sidebar, and I'm going to throw it up here. Make sure I spelled it right. Make sure I did it all right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll get that. Well, it'll just take me one day to get it set up. I'll reach out to you, get all the information I need. I'll send you a report so you can see what your data looks like today. And then we'll do a syndication. We'll get it fixed. And on our next show, you can come back and show everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do one of those things where we break down a bit like someone who's got a business problem. Let's take a look at it together. Maybe like show people kind of what you do and why it makes more sense to have you do it than them trying to do it themselves. Because I got to tell you guys, I'm one of these guys who always wanted to do everything. And it's just that they've made it so hard with these tech companies. You've got to hire people, or you've got to be able to know how to automate or know somebody who can develop systems. I'm good at developing human systems. Like I can bring people together and do this kind of stuff. But man, just getting online and doing all that crap, Bernadette can handle that for you. And compared to the time you'd have to spend, what you'd give her is nothing. So let me see here. So any questions for Bernadette? Bernadette, do you have anything else that you want to say or you want to add or offer to anybody who's here listening today?
If you do have access to your Google business profile, I will tell you that it's been proven that people with multiple location listings, you rank higher, you're more visible. You're there when because you have more visibility. You're there when a person is searching for your product or service. A few little tricks right now. We've been playing with posting videos on the Google My Business posts. What's interesting about that is it starts streaming when people go to the see your Google My Business profile automatically. We've been getting a lot of results with that recently. So don't be afraid to test putting data out there online. The Google My Business profiles are very important. Always stay the owner. Do not give anyone else primary owner access. And if you do have any problems with getting access to a GMB, reach out to me. I can help you with that. Unfortunately, it happens quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Or Facebook business pages getting taken over, and it's so hard to get Facebook to give them back to you. It's almost impossible.
Well, Facebook has no support at all. And I'll tell you, and you really got to pay attention to Facebook. Just yesterday, I noticed on my credit card there was a $400 charge from Facebook. And I went online and I looked, and someone was doing ads in my Facebook account for a dog shampoo and spent $400 in the last 3 days. So, and trying to get that all shut down and finding support on Facebook took me a whole day.
Oh yeah, they just get you, and that's the problem. They want to scale everything, Bernadette. And some things you can't scale, and the personal human relationship, like what we're doing right now, you can't scale that. And they're trying to make us all into robots and zombies. So I'm really grateful that all these people showed up today. And next time, hopefully more. Yeah, right. Because this is the better way, in my opinion, because these people have real life problems. And then they're like, hey, well, Mike's a lawyer. Someone got in an accident by where I live. I'll see if he can help with that. But I'm not sitting here peddling me being a lawyer, talking about my buddy over here. And then next time, you come on and we support, almost like the Key Club. but a little better than the Key Club, you know, because everybody here, I got to let you know, Bernadette also is a big time supporter of the Constitution. One of the things that really makes me like her a lot. You know, she believes in the right of self defense and self determination, parental rights, all those things that I support. So, you know, I'm not just bringing people on here, you know, trying, you know, there's nothing in this for me other than trying to build a bridge between like-minded people. So I want you people to start thinking like this when you're out there. The only way you can help yourself is to help others first. If you put other people first, that's the best way to put yourself first. Just remember that and put that to your heart. Let me see here. All right. So Bernadette, I'm going to go ahead and let you say goodbye, and then I'm going to go ahead and give them my.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually, you know, I am gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna take care of our Pilates studio, and if you don't mind, Mike, I'll copy you on the results so that you have it.
Yeah.
And I may just stay and listen in offline so I can hear what's going on here with our gentleman that got arrested. That's a very interesting story.
Yeah, that's going to be at 3:00, so
Okay.
it'll be a different one, but that'll be kind of fun, and you'll get to kind of see, you know, more about what my friends are all about as far as the First Amendment, trying to hold law enforcement and public officials accountable, while at the same time me trying to help them not have to go to jail over it. So it's kind of it's a ballet, it's a ballet dance. But it was thank you so much for coming on, Bernadette. Everybody, thank you
for get in touch with me if you need.
Give Bernadette a bunch of ones, everybody, please, to say thank you. Say, hey, thank you, Bernadette, with a bunch of ones. Give her a bunch of love hearts. All right. I'm just going to go ahead. All right. So Bernadette is offline. So, guys, I am exhausted. I've been doing these nonstop. Yesterday, I had to prepare for a case that I'm working on. But I've got another one coming up with BZ Watchdog at about 3:00 Pacific, which I will be there for. And if you have questions about that, go ahead and send them. But if you've got anybody who's got a business, lawyers, doctors, any kind of professional business, have them reach out to me. I've got a bunch of buddies with websites. We should get together and try to help each other, rank each other instead of going through all these agencies and wasting all of our money. I know SEO better than 99% of these wet behind the ears kids. I was a webmaster before I even had my own law firm, and I know what I'm doing. So if you guys are serious and you want to start ranking online, I can help you. Now, and we should work together as a team because we are like-minded, and that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that we believe in have a similar value system, which means that we're going to get along a lot better because we believe in value like hard work, merits, you know, merit-based systems where you earn people's trust by doing, not by what you say or by what papers you have on your wall. So that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, make sure to save, and make sure to save all my videos too, like onto your computer, because you never know when the thought police is going to take down my channel, and they probably will. Thank you again, Bernadette, for coming on. With that being said,